all my people on. Ain't no telling where these prophets taking us.
If you're watching the recording of this video, drop a number 2 in the comment section. And listen, go ahead and share this with somebody, because this is going to be really valuable. You want to make sure you got a pen and a piece of paper so you can take some notes, because this is information I wish somebody would have gave me. I wish somebody would have taught me this earlier in my life, right? And this is information that you want to go ahead and take it and start teaching your nieces, your nephews, your sons, your daughters, your brothers, your sisters, people that you love, because this is literally how you get on the path to taking your life to places that you previously only dreamed of, okay? So if you don't know who I am, I'm Mr. Kingdom Cash Charles Dyson, married to my wonderful, beautiful wife, Lady Kingdom Cash Christina Dyson. We have 10 children. I haven't worked a job since April of 2013, and our passion is helping people understand how they can put themselves in the same exact position, right? I want you to understand that how did I get here? Let's answer that question. How did I get to this position? By following other people who were already in the position that I wanted to be in. It's really that simple, right? But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me go ahead and break this down. What's up, Joe? How you doing, buddy? Hope you and your wife and your wonderful children are doing well, man. Love you, bro. All right, so what's going on, Carla? How's everything? Here to hear you drop facts as usual. Hey, listen, that's a blessing. I appreciate you so much. Hope you and the family are doing very well. So let's get right into it. So I want to break this thing down. How to get anything you want. I mean anything, right? First, you got to understand this, right? You have 6 mental faculties, 6, right, that every human is born with, right? You have perception, you have reason, you have a will, you have a memory, you have an imagination, and you also have intuition, right? These are your 6 mental faculties, and everybody is born with it, right? Now, your mind is separated into 2 sections. This is how your mind works, right? And I'm going to get to why we're talking about your mind in a second. All right? You have your subconscious mind, and then you have your conscious mind. Now, your conscious mind is your awareness. It's what you're conscious of, right? And it's what you can perceive, and your mind can go ahead and process information about what it is that you see, right? And then your subconscious mind, right? The prefix sub usually means under, like submarine, underwater, right? Marine means water, right? So underwater, that's what submarine means, right? Underneath, right? Underneath. So sub usually means below. So if we break down the word subconscious, it's underneath consciousness, underneath awareness. So your subconscious mind cannot tell the difference between a memory, reality, and imagination. This is so critical for you to understand. Your subconscious mind cannot tell the difference between a memory, a reality, and imagination. Here's how powerful your subconscious mind is. Everybody's been in a car and heard a song come on the radio that they can't stand. Can't stand it. You may not be paying attention to the song, right? You may not know the lyrics to the song, right? But you know that you can't stand the song. You don't like it. Whatever you don't like about it, you just don't like it. Now, what the radio station knows, what television knows, right? They know that through repetition, they can get you to actually like the song. Why? Because your memory is strengthened through repetition. It's the reason why you see the same commercials over and over and over again, right? It's the reason why they play the same songs over and over and over again. But going back to the radio analogy, if you hear that same song over and over and over again, that same song you said you didn't like, you'll find yourself tapping your foot after 2 weeks. You'll find yourself humming the song a little bit after that. And then when you're even away from the radio, now you even know the melody, and you might even know the words to the song. And you go from not liking the song at all to, you know what, that song isn't so bad after all. They understand this, right? The subconscious mind accepts whatever it's given. Please write that down. This has everything to do with getting anything you want in life. Your subconscious mind will accept anything that it is given. Okay? And you already heard me say that it cannot tell the difference between a memory, reality, and imagination. Let me go back to that. A memory is something that already happened. Something that really happened, right? And your mind, right, it created a file of that particular action or activity that took place, right? If I say the word roller coaster, your mind can refer back to a time where you went to Six Flags or Disney World or Disneyland or somewhere where you rode a roller coaster, right? It was an action that actually happened, and your mind can refer to the memory, right? If I mention middle school, right? You can refer back to something that happened in middle school. I don't know what's in your mind, but just by mentioning the word middle school, your mind can refer to something that took place in middle school. Now watch how powerful this is. Like I said, I don't know what's in your mind, right? But just by speaking words, I can control what you think about. Oh my God, this is so powerful. This is what branding is. Brand recognition is getting people to recognize, right, your product, service. If I say Oreo, there's only two things you're going to think about: the black cookie with the white stuff in the middle, or that blue wrapper. If I say McDonald's, you're going to think about the golden arches. That's branding. If I say Coca-Cola, you're going to think about, that black soda. You're going to think about the branding of the container. You're going to think about the Coca-Cola logo, red and white. Something is going to make you think about that brand. It's the reason why they've had the same logo for over 100 years, because they want you to recognize the brand. But I want you to understand how powerful the subconscious mind is, right? So if I want you to understand, if I can just speak words and cause your memory to refer back to something that specifically happened, how much more powerful would you be if you started feeding your subconscious mind exactly what you wanted? What has been your biggest day trading thus far?
Man, my biggest day trading so far has been a little over $2,400, man, in a day. It was 1,100.
Went from about $1,000 to about $5,800 in 2 days. And then this most recent one I got right now started at 565, and right now we're at about 4,500.
So in total for 3 weeks to date, about 63 or something like that.
$63,000, and you've only been doing this 3 weeks.
Yeah.
I flipped 400 to $2,200. Put it like that.
Jeez.
In a couple hours.
My biggest trading week was 17,000 US dollars.
How long did it take to make
that? 3 days.
My biggest day trading actually was last week. I put up over $1,100 in one day, and the week I ended off with about $1,500.
I finished the training in 1 day, Charles, and I did the demo for 2 weeks, and the following week I was making money. It was too simple.
Tell me what your first impressions were from when you did the training, when you first learned skills.
Well, like when I first learned it, I had I had to keep looking at it. I was like, no, this is just too simple. This is like, again, just talking to myself, like, okay, because I'm already like not really like computer savvy. So once I got to the Skittle strategy, the first video, I'm like, oh wait, I gotta take notes for this. I was like, no way, this is easy. But like at the end of it, I was just like, all right, like this is all I have to do. Now I get what Salita was saying, 1, 2, 3, take the trade.
Give me your first impressions of the Skittle strategy when you first went through the training.
My first impressions was that it was simple. It was trading simplified. So I'm expecting, because I had dabbled a little bit in Forex, but so I'm expecting it to be long and drawn out, and I'm about to watch these videos 3 and 4 times before I even get an idea of what's really going on, and that wasn't the case. I mean, like somebody said before, I couldn't believe I'm going back to check, like, wait a minute, is that it? Like, do I need to go back? Am I missing something? But, so it's simplified, and it doesn't matter your age or, if you, tech savvy, as Amber just mentioned, you can do this. You can do it.
Absolutely. Hey, what's up, family? Listen, I'm looking for new people to help, new people to serve all over the world, where I'm showing you how you can make full-time quit your job income straight from a cell phone, laptop, desktop, or tablet. Ladies and gentlemen, this is simple, it's real, it's easy. It's so easy that my wife and I were able to teach 7 out of 9 of our children how to do this, how to make money from a phone. Ladies and gentlemen, I am not a celebrity. I am accessible. I am one message away. If you contact me through one of the sources on your screen right now, I will send you the information and show you how this works. Or if you want to come to my next live presentation, all you got to do is look at my YouTube stories or my Instagram stories, and you will see my next live presentation. Come to the live presentation and I will show you front to back how this works. I am looking for people to serve, people to partner with, and people to help. It doesn't matter where you are in the world. I am willing to help you, and I can't wait to talk to you. How much more powerful would you be if you started feeding your subconscious mind exactly what you wanted? Right? Then there's reality. It's what's happening right now. You're on this Facebook Live right now. Right? Listening to this right now. Right? And if it impacts you in a major way, then your mind will create a memory of this Facebook Live. Right? And then there's the imagination. Now, this is the powerful part. Right? You listen to me. Your subconscious mind can't tell the difference between a memory, reality, and imagination. So if you imagine yourself doing something over and over and over again. Remember, I said your memory is strengthened through repetition. So can you take an imagination, imagine the same thing over and over again, and create a memory? You ever heard that if you tell the same lie over and over and over again, you'll start to believe it? Well, that doesn't have to necessarily only apply to bad things. That can apply to good things. You could tell yourself something over and over and over again until you start to believe it. And what is belief? What's the foundation of belief? Activity. You won't do something until you believe it. I won't sit in this chair unless I believe it will hold me. This chair structurally has 4 sides to it, right? And my belief in the idea of chairs is so strong that I can walk in a doctor's office and not think twice and sit down. That's how strong my belief is in the idea of a chair. Now watch this. If you take that same principle, your imagination, and start programming yourself, right? You imagining yourself in a higher place, right? A specific imagination. It could be you going into a car dealership to buy a Bentley, right? And then you get your emotions involved with it, right? You start imagining what it smells like. Watch this. You can take it a step further. You can actually go to the Bentley dealership in real life, sit in the Bentley, and get your five senses involved with it. You can smell it. You can feel it. If you test drive it, you can create a memory on how it felt when you turned the steering wheel. Watch this. But then if you go ahead and imagine yourself buying the Bentley, imagine yourself driving the Bentley every day, then you'll create a belief that you can get the Bentley. I'm telling you, the subconscious mind can't tell the difference between a memory, a reality, and imagination. So you can take your imagination and use it to produce. You can take your imagination and use it to produce. Now, I spent a little bit more time than I wanted to on that, but I want you to understand this, right? Memories are strengthened through repetition, and that's how humans learn. So when somebody says, I can't do something, they're lying. That's the worst thing you can say out your mouth. I can't, right? Because you can. You can do whatever you decide to do, and your memory is strengthened through repetition. That's why when we were in middle school, right? When we were in elementary school and we learned our multiplication tables, when we learned our division, when we learned our addition and subtraction, the teacher did not spend one day on the subject. If you can think back to when you were in elementary school and middle school, when the teacher was on that subject, you learned those subjects for 3 to 4 months, 5 months, doing the same thing over and over again. And now, the age you are right now, you never forgot it because you learned it through repetition. Now, if you take that same principle and you start doing an activity that's meant to elevate your life financially, and you repeated it over and over and over again, you'll commit it to memory and you'll continue to produce. This is simple. It's simple. And then if you take the repetition part, commit it to your imagination, and then create a memory, which then can create higher belief, which then will cause you to take more action, which then can produce a good result, which then will make you feel good about that result, which then will make you believe you can take even more action and produce bigger results. Do you understand how this thing can work? You understand how this thing can work? Right? Right? Watch this. Look, so let's continue this conversation, right? What is a vision? What is a vision? A vision is a mental picture. A vision is a mental picture. A vision is not a memory. It's not reality. A vision fits in the category of an imagination, right? A vision is a mental picture. Now, what is a plan? A plan is a specific map on paper that, if executed, can be birthed into reality. Everything that you see, this came out of somebody's mind. 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 This came out of somebody's mind, right? This came out of somebody's mind, right? This came out of somebody's mind, right? This came out of somebody's mind. Everything you can see, feel, and touch first came out of somebody's mind. It was first a vision, right? So a plan is a specific map on paper that, if executed, can be birthed into reality, right? Now, your will, remember we talked about the 6 mental faculties. Your will, basically your decision to make it happen, is what will cause the vision to happen. So something you don't set a goal for can't take place. because you didn't make it a part of your perception. You didn't make it a part of your imagination. You didn't make it part of your will. You didn't create a desire for it. You won't ever touch $1 million unless you develop a vision to touch $1 million. What is encompassed in a vision? A plan. What is encompassed in a vision? A plan. Okay? So if you don't set your desires, if you don't set your mind to go accomplish something or put it into, right, your perception, meaning you're focused on it, then it can't happen. You create it in your mind first. Then you create it on paper, which would be the plan, right? And then you can create it in reality, right? Right? I want you to understand this. So a vision, that's why your word, your Bible says without a vision, people perish. Now you understand why. Because without vision, you waste your life. Without vision, you won't manifest anything. Without vision, you won't see anything. You won't have anything. Without vision, you'll be given the life that you settle for. If you don't believe you can go higher, you won't ever try to go higher. And that's what our world system, that's why millions of people, right? Millions of people settle for the income that they have, never trying or attempting or even moving their life towards having more. But this is how you can get anything you want, anything. It doesn't matter how much it costs, what the price is, right? There's no such thing as expensive. You need to take that word out your vocabulary. Nothing is expensive. There's only things that you're willing to pay for and things you're not, right? It's not that the Bentley is expensive. You just haven't found a way to afford it. Or you haven't found a way to go get it. You have not developed a plan to go get it, right? And we got to take that word affordable out of our vocabulary too, because there's no such thing as affordable. There's only what you are willing to go execute, to go obtain, and what you're not willing to pay for. So if there's an $800 t-shirt, right, your perception might be that t-shirt is expensive. It's not that it's expensive. The person who set the price said what it was worth, and if one person pays for it, then they justified their vision. Their vision was the t-shirt that you can get at Walmart for $6, I'm going to sell it for $800. And if somebody else perceives that t-shirt as worth $800, they just confirmed their vision. You see how this works? There's no such thing as affordable or expensive, right? So watch this. What is a radio, y'all? What is a cell phone? What is a radio? What is a cell phone? How does it work, right? We all have a cell phone. If you have my cell phone number, it will not ring your mother's phone. It won't ring your best friend's phone. It's going to ring my phone because it's my phone number, right? That phone number is a frequency. There's more cell phones on the planet than there are people. There's more cell phones on the planet than there are people. That gives you an idea of how vast frequencies are. Just think about that. There's more cell phones on the planet than there are people, which means there's unlimited amounts of cell phones, of frequencies, right? There's 7 billion people on planet Earth right now, and there's far more cell phones than there are people. So each of those cell phones can have an individual way to contact it. I'm going somewhere. Radios work the same exact way. If you turn your radio, I'm in Atlanta, if you turn your radio to 103, V103, right? That is a specific frequency to hear what's on that channel, on that station, right? So in order to receive, right, the content from that station, you got to tune into that frequency. I get so excited about this. Watch this. It's so clear. I see it so clear. Watch this. Wealth is a frequency, y'all. And so is poverty. Wealth is a frequency. And so is poverty. It's a state of mind. So watch this. You can set your frequency to the frequency of somebody that has far more than you. And then what will happen? You will start to perceive things differently. Things will start to be clear. If you develop a vision, it's way easier to believe in the vision because you're operating from a higher frequency, right? You can reason with yourself that it's actually possible, right? You can set your will. You can make a decision to go get it. Why? Because you're not operating from the frequency that you've been operating on. You decide to take your perception higher. You decide to get on the channel that produces what they have, wealth. And then when you get to that frequency and you stay there, that's how quantum leaps happen. That's how somebody can go from homeless to multimillionaire. Because their condition did not determine their mentality. Listen to me carefully. You cannot leave life circumstances to infect your mentality. You cannot let life circumstances affect your mentality. Your current reality is not written in stone. You can take control and move your life towards any vision you set in motion. Right? Watch this. What is a computer? What is a computer? A computer operates just like your brain operates. It was designed after the way our mind works. That's what a computer is, right? It has a CPU. It stands for Central Processing Unit. A Central Processing Unit. Wait a minute. Central Processing Unit. That sounds like reason to me. That sounds like that mental faculty reason, right? It's the Central Processing Unit. When you see something, it creates a perception and your mind processes it. Literally, you have millions of sensory mechanisms in your eye that processes what you see instantly, and that's why you see it. Right? Watch this. This is the reason why a computer has a keyboard. See, in order to see things on the screen, you actually have to push a button. In order for you to see something on your phone, you actually have to push a button. There's an activity that needs to happen. Your mind works the same way. In order for your mind to process something, you got to give it something to process. In order for your mind to process something, you got to give it something to process. So if you never take your imagination and use it to create imagery that sees you in opulence, that sees you in wealth, that sees you in luxury, that sees you not driving a Toyota, but driving a Porsche. If you never give your mind something to process, it won't process it. If you automatically say, because I don't have the money physically, I won't turn my attention to it mentally, then you won't ever have it physically. See, you gotta get it mentally first before you see it physically. You have to. You have to get it mentally first before you can see it physically. So wealth is a frequency, y'all. Wealth is a frequency. And there's a formula to wealth. Write these 3 L's down. Write these 3 L's down. There's liquidity, longevity, and legacy. There's liquidity, longevity, and legacy. So watch this. We can take those 3 words and we can translate it like this. Right? Right? There's history, there's the present, and there's the future. If you want to translate those 3 words, there's history, there's the present, there's the future. Let's put it like this. Your life today is a sum total of the decisions you made 10 years ago. Your life today was designed. You made a series of decisions to end up right where you are right now. If you decide to make a series of decisions that are different, you can go ahead and take your life 10 years from now. You can create it in the present, make a decision with your will to move your life in that direction. And 10 years from now, you'll have exactly what you imagine today. The life that my wife and I are living today, me not having to go to work, me being home with my wife and children, it happened because in 2012, my wife and I got fed up and we've developed a vision, a plan, and executed. And 6 months later, I was walking away from a job in April 2013. And now today, I don't work a job. I work for myself. I work how? I work for liquidity, right? I work for longevity, and I work for legacy. See, if you only decide to get a paycheck, then you only can work for today. You can work for right now's problems. You can work for right now's worries. You can work for right now's situations. Right? You're just trying to pay the rent. You're just trying to pay the gas bill, the electric bill, the water bill. But without a vision, you can't elevate. Without a plan, you can't elevate because you're only thinking about today. But if you start operating for longevity, if you start operating and making decisions today for legacy, then you can move your life towards what you truly desire. That liquidity means the ability to have, like if you ever heard somebody say their net worth, like their net worth is $1 billion. Well, that doesn't mean they physically have $1 billion. Some of that money is liquid, meaning they can touch it, meaning it's available to them. They can physically go touch it. So if somebody's net worth is $1 billion, right, 300 million might be their liquid worth. That means they can go touch 300 million right now. So you want to develop some liquidity, right? Some money that you can touch, right? And you want to operate with a sense of longevity. My wife and I, the way we make business decisions is not for right now. We make business decisions for our future. We're operating for longevity. We're operating thinking about legacy. We're planning our life 20, 30 years ahead. So what you got to do is you got to make this stuff something that you're focused on every single day. You have to create an ecosystem of finance. Your household has to start operating like a business, right? You have to create an ecosystem of finances. And if you have children who are old enough to have a reason, have perception, have will, then you need to start talking to them and including them in these conversations. They need to understand, right? As early as possible. This is the reason why the skill set my wife and I chose to master, we started teaching our children as soon as we understood it. Because we decided we don't want to keep giving our children what we never had. We want to give our children what we didn't know. Because when you become aware of something, what can you do? You can elevate faster. If you knew how important your credit was, you wouldn't have messed it up, right? Everybody, a majority of people watching this right now, you made some mistakes with your credit. I know this because 8 out of 10 people have bad credit. So there's a strong chance you watching this right now, you probably messed up your credit score. If you knew what you know now earlier, you wouldn't have made the decisions that got you the credit score you have now. You would have took care of it a little bit better. Awareness. So you want to make your children aware of this information as soon as possible. Your nieces, your nephews, your brothers, your sisters, the people that you love, you want to make them aware of the fact that you can literally get whatever you want as soon as they can start understanding. 5 years old, 6 years old, 7 years old. One of the things that me and my wife do, we don't ask our children, what do you want to be when you grow up? No, we're positioning them to be great now. They can be great at 5 years old. They can be great at 6 years old. They can be great at 7 years old. They don't have to wait until they're 18, 19. That's the school system's way of thinking. That's what they want to plant into your children, that you got to wait to become something great. No, they need to be great now, as soon as possible. So you can have some 18-year-old millionaires. Right? So if you never focus on elevation, elevation won't ever happen. If you don't focus on increasing your finances, then increasing your finances won't ever happen. It has to become something that you bring into your consciousness and make yourself aware of it. And then you got to focus on it over and over and over again, repetitively, doing the same activities, right? That are built towards or geared towards elevating you financially. You got to listen to content. You got to listen to content repetitively, right? That is geared to build your belief system, right? I don't listen to the radio in the car anymore. I listen to podcasts. I listen to audiobooks. I listen to things that are about the subject that I'm talking to you about right now. Right? This is how you elevate. This is how you get your life to where you want to go. Now watch this. You gotta get to a position where you detach your money from your location. You got to get to a place where you detach your money from your physical location. How do you do that? Skills. You got to develop some skills. Now, there's mental skills and then there's physical skills. I'm not talking about physical skills. What most people do when they want more money, they say, I need to go back to school, because they think school is where you go acquire skills. But school is where you go acquire physical skills. And those aren't the skills that are going to get you what you want. Because listen to this, right? This is going to be unpopular, right? Sorry, my Instagram, I got people calling me. This is going to be unpopular, right? But it's the truth, so I'm going to say it. School is a debt trap, y'all. Now, 40 years ago, it wasn't like that. School is a debt trap at this point. It costs $150,000, $200,000 to get a doctorate degree. So now you got to work for the next 30 years to take care of the debt that you created in your 20s. So you mean to tell me I can't start being cash flow positive until I'm 50? Come on, y'all. I'm telling you, this is an uncomfortable conversation, but it got to be had. If you desire, if your life's vision is to become a doctor, then by all means, go become a doctor. If your life vision is to become a lawyer, then go ahead, by all means, become a lawyer, because that's your life's vision. But if your life's vision has nothing to do with those things, if what you want has nothing to do with those things, then why are we sending our children into massive amounts of debt if we know it didn't work for us? Are you working in the field you got your degree in? So if it didn't work for you, then why are we sending our children into it? I'm not talking about mental skills. I'm not talking about physical skills. I'm talking about mental skills. Right? So the physical skills is doctor, lawyer, engineer, IT professional, plumber, landscaper, right? Now watch this. If you want to go acquire this knowledge to become the boss, that's a totally different subject. So you can understand how to build a landscaping business where other people you're going to leverage the time, efforts, and energy of other people, then I understand that. If you want to go become a doctor so you can open your own practice and have other doctors, nurses, and practitioners working under you, then that's a different conversation, because now you're building a legacy. You're building longevity. You're building liquidity. Do y'all see how this conversation goes? See, the activities that you engage in, you got to do it with a vision, not just to do it because it's the popular thing to do. So if you're making these decisions for liquidity, if you're making these decisions for longevity and for legacy, then that I understand. But if you're making this decision just because you want more money, consider it, because you might be about to fall into a debt trap. Now, those are the physical skills. Let's talk about the mental skills. The mental skills is where you can learn something, and the money that you make from what you learned is completely detached from your physical presence. So you can do something, right? You take some information that you learned, apply it, and it can produce you money without you being present. Y'all, I'm telling you, man, this stuff is this is how you get anything you want. The mental skill my wife and I decided to focus on is currency trading, Forex trading. We decided to gain a skill that allowed us to push a button on our phone, laptop, desktop, or tablet, and we make money from pushing the button on the phone. And whether we're on our laptop or not, I could be doing any other activity and my money is still building. I detached my money from my physical location. And remember what I said earlier, I can't do that. That's the most dangerous thing you can say. That's the most dangerous thought that you can have. You can do anything you decide to do. If you would have told me 4 years ago that I would be a trader, I would have called you a liar. I said I would never do that. But once Joe, my man Joe, who might be still on this Zoom, thank God for Joe. He's the first person that made me aware of how 7-year-olds were making money trading, of how people were changing their life from trading. People were making literally a year worth of money in a day trading. And once he changed my perception, I started to reason with myself, me and my wife, we can do this too. I set my will to go out and do it, right? And then I started learning how to do it repetitively, which strengthened my memory on the skill. I started imagining where I could take my life, and now my life is going exactly in that direction. And now I have intuition when I'm on the charts. I'm using my 6 mental faculties to make money. Now, this is just what I decided to do. Now, I've gotten so good at it that I can help other people do it too now. Y'all see how this thing works, man? I could probably talk for another hour. There's so many levels to this. It's so deep, man. That's why I continuously study it. My mentors study it. And now, y'all know my mentors, they all started out. They started out broke. My mentor went from, well, let me see if I can get my own condo. He got the condo. Well, let me see if I can get myself a Bentley. He got the Bentley. Let me see if I can get myself a Lambo. He got the Lambo. Let me see if I can get myself $1 million a year. He got that. Let me see if I can get myself to $5 million a year. He got that. Let me see if I can get myself to $1 million a month. He got that. Let me see if I can get myself to $1 million a day. He got that. He's had at least 7 $1 million days in the last 90 days. See, the Lord will never show you something that you can't have, because he's no respecter of persons. So my mentor, Pat, he paved the way. He's proving through consistency what's possible. So just like I did the analogy with the chair, and I can sit in any chair with faith that it'll hold me up, I can see what following this path will get me because I have an example of what it looks like. You don't have to wonder if I know where I'm going. I know where I'm going because not only has it worked for him, but it's worked for several other people. It's worked for several other people, thousands of people around the world. Now, he's our senior mentor, right? But we got other mentors that are not at $1 million a day, but they're at $10,000 a day, $20,000 a day, $100,000 a day. I have mentors that are $100,000 a year. I have mentors that are at $100,000 a month. See, you won't shoot for these type of numbers if you don't think it's possible. You won't ever go for this type of wealth if you don't think you can. See why it's important to get exposed to this information, this type of information, so then you can develop a vision for it. Then you can develop a plan. You can follow, not develop a plan, but follow a plan that's already been proven, and you can have it too. Simple. 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 So ladies and gentlemen, I hope this made an impact. If you got value from this, make sure you share it with somebody else. If you want mentorship, if you want me to show you how I'm doing what I'm doing, just DM me. Send me a message, and I will be happy to work with you directly, show you how to do this thing. I make it easy, simple, right? And it don't take long to learn. You can do it. You can do it. But just make sure you want to work. Because I didn't say anything about get rich quick. It's a get rich certain, not a get rich quick. It's a get rich certain. So you got to focus on it. You got to give it attention. This is what I focus on. And this is why my life is moving the direction that it's moving. I hope this made an impact on you. Share this out. Make sure other people get to hear this information. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Mr. Kingdom Cash Charles Dyson. Follow me, like, share, right? Save the video on Instagram. Do all that good stuff. It helps the algorithm. I really appreciate it. And it's going to help other people. All right. Love you guys.
I've been putting all my people on. Ain't no telling where these profits taking us.